Hi, we're Pat and Susie Vetters, and we've been asked by St. Pius to share a short testimony about our prayer life. And so we're just going to tell you a little bit about when we started taking prayer seriously in our marriage and how it's evolved over the years. So we'll be married 35 years on June 21st.
That sounds right.
And even though we both were raised Catholic and both went to Catholic school, I think we both grew up in environments where really just an occasional grace before meals was what we considered family prayer. And for I would say for the first half of our marriage, we really didn't take it very seriously. And so it was when our kids got into Catholic schools and we started being involved in their schools that we really started to take our faith life more seriously.
And initially, I started with my prayer life as individually, and I tried to get a better relationship with Jesus by praying, directly to Him. But I didn't make that part of our marriage, and that's a good first step. But that's not going to make for a great marriage if both spouses are praying individually and not doing it together. And it really was when Susie and I began to pray together as a couple, and sometimes short prayers when we're exhausted at night, other times prayer petitions to watch out for our kids. But when we started doing that was when we really grew together in our faith, and really, quite honestly, grew much closer together as a couple. And I always say that if a couple wants to get closer, the one foolproof method for that is if they have a shared prayer life. It's, without question, it's the best thing we've probably ever done in our marriage.
So you may be thinking, well, what does a shared marriage prayer life look like? Well, I think it depends really almost on the day. Sometimes we say the rosary together. More often than not, Pat will say the rosary and I'll fall asleep. But, it's not that we have something set that we do every day, but we really just try to include each other in our intentions and include each other in the things that that are on our heart, most particularly for that day. And so whether or not we have a long, drawn-out opportunity to say the rosary or pray together, I just think that we're always in tune to what the other person is praying for.
Right, and I think it's just a reminder, especially at night, especially right now, amongst the crazy time we live in with this pandemic. It's just a little reminder, kind of a tap on the head, that God is what brought us together, that He's a part of our marriage, and that we have a shared sacrament. And I think a lot of times in a crazy busy day, we might not ever pause to reflect on that, but just praying together, particularly at night before you go to bed, is just one great way of reminding us that we share a union with Christ together.
And so there's no special formula. Really the only formula is just to do it. Sometimes it feels a little awkward when you start praying out loud with your spouse, but really it doesn't take long for it to become a habit and to become something that really becomes the glue of your marriage.